Shalom, this is my daughter Marijah, and we are just going to go over some of her homeschool routine and the things that she does on a normal basis. So she is 9 years old, she's about to be 10, and she's in the 4th grade. And we're just going to talk about a few of just the things that she does in her routine on a normal homeschool day. So go ahead.
So the first thing we have is our checklist to write the things that I have to do every day in order. And then when I'm done doing the first thing, I'll have to check it off.
So she just checks it off as she goes until she's completed all the things that are on the checklist.
The first thing on the checklist is my verse of the week. But this is the one from last week. It's Proverbs 6:23. I have to do it in English, then in Hebrew, then in Paleo Hebrew. Sometimes I just have to do it in Hebrew.
In modern Hebrew, yeah. And she does that every day, right after her. That's the first thing she does every day.
Second thing on the checklist is my journal. She'll write something in my journal. It could be something about the Bible or something different, something about myself or something.
And then she has to write a paragraph to explain or to answer the question. And she does that right after her verse of the week every day.
Next is my word problem book. So I have my word problem book. There'll be a word problem up here.
Yeah, she usually has to do about 2 pages in her word problem book. And I got this book mainly because she was having a little bit of problems with word problems. Just the wording. She would know how to do the problem, but the words would trip her up. So once she understood what the problem was asking her to do, then of course she could then solve the problem. But sometimes with the wording, it would trip her up. So I got her this word problem book just so she can continue to practice word problems and things like that. So
next thing is my math book.
So this is just her math book here. So she does her math usually right after her word problems. I'll give her something to do in her math book. And she'll just do the next lesson in her math book. Sometimes we do 2 lessons a day out of here. It takes her about 35 to 40 minutes to complete 1 lesson. So it just depends on how fast she does it. Sometimes I'll make her do 2, or sometimes we'll just do 1. If we've been on a break and we're coming back, then sometimes I will double up on the lessons. But so she does this. And this is just from Horizons. I got this from the Christian book. Last year we got her the whole curriculum of this, but I just got the math book this time. So
next thing is writing.
And I want to just show that these are some of the things. I've just bought her a few of these different type of books. This is a writing book,
a reading book,
a reading book,
geography book, language arts.
Right. And I got a bunch of these different ones, just like the word problem book, because we don't buy a whole package curriculum. So what we do is with each one of these, I just get these workbooks that aren't that expensive. I get them from christianbook.com. And what we do here is that they're not very extensive, but they give you the basic of what she needs to know for language arts, for geography, for reading and writing. So what I would do is whatever it is, if it's writing and it's talking about persuasive writing, then I have many other like 4th grade books and many other educational books that I pull from that will also have different worksheets in there about persuasive writing. And I will also pull up things offline. I will also come up with things myself. So I just kind of combined what the book is talking about with other things so we can have a more extensive study on it. So if it's language arts and we're talking about verbs or different types of sentences, I would do the same thing. I would just pull from different books that also have worksheets on that. I will come up with some, and I will pull from online as well. So this is just a guide. These books I have are just a guide, and then I continue on to do an extensive study on it with other sources and things that I come up with myself. So I bought these books that were very inexpensive, and it's just a little bit easier for me because since we can't always afford to buy a whole thing of curriculum, it's easier for me to buy these books, and that way it helps me to stay organized because I'm not the best organized person. So just to have a guide and the things that I know I need to keep in here and to help me to remember the things that I need to go over, these things just help as a guide to help me stay a little bit more organized. So that's what I have those there for.
Next book, which is the last book, is Wordly Wise. It helps me with my
vocabulary. Right, so I bought this book just recently, and this is just to help her with her vocabulary. It has different words in here to just help her to extend her vocabulary a little bit. Like her first set of words were things like benefit, complete, develop, dismay, ease, represent, sufficient, recommend, things like that. This is just the first set of words, and this just helps her to know how to use those words, to put them in her vocabulary and things like that, because if she extends her vocabulary, it also help her with reading and writing. And so that's why, you know, we just do this here. So this is just something we've added to her day, and I make sure that I put that on the checklist as well. So recently, and we do many other things, like we have a health book that we go through, and we work out of the health book. We have science that we normally do too. Right now we're talking about, we also have the Bible, right? And we work out of the health book. We talk about different things about the body and all these different type of things, and we talk about how it goes in with scripture and how, you know, the Most High created our bodies, and we go into the things like that. And we do science as well. I didn't bring out the science book, but we have a little science book that we use as well. And I also get some science activities offline as well. So recently I just ordered her a few books off of line. So this is one
that I already been reading. It is President of the whole 5th grade.
And this is the book that she's reading now. So once we finish this, we'll do a report on it. And
the next one is Julian's Secret Agent. Then most of these are Ruby and the Booker Boys.
Yeah, it's just a series of that. So
Trivia Queen 3rd Grade Supreme. How to Almost Ruin Your School Play. Miami Jackson Gets It Straight.
Okay, so these are just some of the books that she's gotten, and we'll read and you know, just do a small little book report on them when we're done. There's other books that we have that she reads that have to do with history. We also, of course, do biblical work. What we've been doing with biblical work is we're going in order from Genesis to Revelations, and we're just reading chapter by chapter, and we'll read a chapter a day. And right now we're still in Exodus, because sometimes we don't get into this as much every day as we need to, but right now we're still in Exodus. And after we finished reading the whole chapter of Genesis, I gave her small little exams here, or quizzes, after each chapter. And after we read the whole book, we did an exam on it. We did like a final exam on it, where I asked her a bunch of these different questions that we learned in Genesis, and she did an exam on that. And then now we're in Exodus, and we do little quizzes here and there, and once we finish that, she'll have a final exam as well. So we also have different lessons that we go through. We do it on Shabbat. We do many lessons, but this is just so we can get the basic order of, you know, understanding scripture from beginning to end. Okay, do you want to elaborate on anything?
So, I like homeschool. My favorite part homeschool is when we do science and when I read my book. And also, one of my favorite ones was Worldly Wise, and I like learning new words.
Yeah, she was really excited about the Worldly Wise book when we got that because, yeah, like she said, she likes to learn new words and tries to use them. And even with that book, I also, with the worksheets they have in there, I also will make my own things. If I see her struggling with anything, then I'll just come up with it. I'll just write my own things up for her so she can practice on that. Like if I see her still struggling with her 8s, if she just hasn't been paying attention to her 8s lately, so I'm continue to make for that whole week, she'll have to practice doing her 8s. Or with words, if I see her kind of struggling with them, then she'll have to write them in sentences or things like that. And we also have a spelling book as well, which I forgot to mention. She does her spelling as well. We didn't do that last week because we were trying to catch up on a lot of other things as we were starting back from our break, but she has a spelling book that we incorporated as well. We don't do all of these things every single day, but the main things like reading, writing, math, those are every single day. But of course, we don't do science or health every single day, but we do put them in. Ideally, I would like to do them 2 to 3 times a week, but as long I want to focus on the reading, writing, and math more than anything. Of course. Okay, girl, sit up. Okay. No. Okay, sit up.
Can't you take this out?
Yeah. Cause see, why are you just staring at me though?
Because I don't know what to say.
Okay. Okay, anyway, let's go. Ow! Okay, why are you doing that? Seriously, because I'm going to be laughing all day if you don't stop. Okay, small paragraph.
Hey.
There we go. Y'all better wrap it up.
Wrap it up.
We'll have to do this later.